ladies and gentlemen, to another amazing episode of The Basement, where we like to talk about things theologically, practically, and hilariously. Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Yes. Anyways, today,
Eh,
what?
you didn't say your name.
Oh yeah, my name is Tristen,
I'm Ezra.
and today, yes. Yeah, this is how the episode's gonna go today.
Yeah.
So today, we are going to go through the second part of 2 Samuel. And we did the first 10 chapters of 1 Samuel. Gosh. And we're going to do chapters 11 through 20. You're going to do that the entire time? Okay. Stop it! You're ridiculous.
Okay, I'm done.
Give a hand for Ezra, the amazing guitarist.
What?
Thank
Amazing? You. What?
Thank
No.
you. Thank you.
I'm not
Thank
amazing.
you.
I'm just Ezra.
Thank you. All right. Anyways, so to recap, 1 Samuel. Basically, Samuel was born to a lady who was not able to bear children until she prayed long and hard for one, and God answered her prayer. She gave birth to Samuel, and she gave Samuel to the priests, and the priests ended up raising Samuel up, and he became one of the greatest prophets and judges of Israel's history. Hannah ended up having more children, so it wasn't just Samuel. And Samuel was really good at listening to God. Eli, the head priest at the time, was bad because he let his sons do bad things. And so he died, his sons died, and Samuel took over. And then the people were desperate for something new, so they wanted a king. And Samuel was like, "How dare you?" And the people were like, "We still want a king." So God was like, "All right, give them a king." So Samuel goes out into the cities and follows God's instructions and ends up finding a guy by the name of Saul. Saul has a little bit of an image problem. He has a little bit of an image problem. He doesn't understand his true worth at this moment in time. He believes himself to be unworthy because he is the smallest from the smallest family and the smallest tribe. He doesn't deserve to be king in his own mind. So, he's going to deal with that. And as we'll see in the next 10 chapters, we're also going to see how he swings in the opposite direction. He thought his image was so terrible and so small, and then see how his image of himself swings to a side where he thinks of himself too high and too mighty, rather than too small and too insignificant. He swings in the opposite side. So yeah. Anything else that I missed?
No.
Oh, wait. What's a fun fact for the day?
Don't quote me on this, but I think when giraffes are born, they drop like 4 to 6 feet.
Yeah. They're birthed and...
Mm-hmm.
Why?
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 It's a fun fact.
No, why do they fall? Why did they have to fall? It's a jump start, basically.
What's a jump start?
Or kickstart, basically. It kickstarts their body because they hit the ground and jump starts their body.
So I take it you knew that fact already? Never mind, it's not a fun fact anymore. He already knew it.
Well, it's a fun fact for our listeners. It was more for the listeners than anything.
I got another fun fact. Tarot cards are bad.
Agreed.
That's not a fun fact anymore. Need to find a fun fact. Oh, brain work. What fun facts do I know? I have ADHD.
Huh?
I have ADHD.
That's a fun fact?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not fun anymore. What's a fun fact? Do I know any fun facts? Oh. I know the name of a Mexican village. Parangaricutirimícuaro.
Where is it located exactly?
I don't know. Somewhere in Mexico. I think. I don't know. I don't know anything
There you
else.
go. You learned today the name of a Mexican village. Can you say it one more time?
Parangaricutirimícuaro. Can you say
Just
it?
one more time. I don't think they got it.
Parangaricutirimícuaro.
There you go. You're welcome.
You say it now.
No.
Yep, try it. Parangari
Parangari.
Kutirimícuaro.
Slow down.
Kutirimícuaro.
Kudimi.
Parangari Kutirimícuaro.
No, not at this.
Parangari
Parangari.
Ku
Ku.
Ti
Ti.
Ri
Kri.
Ri
Ri.
Mi
Mi.
Qua
Que.
Ro.
Ro.
Parangari Kutirimícuaro.
Stop it.
Parangari Kutirimícuaro.
Alright, cool.
Tú necesitas
I'm gonna
practicar
leave
español
you
más
to
porque es
that.
muy importante para tu vida.
I'm gonna leave you to that. Alright? So, chapter 11 of 1 Samuel. Alright, we're gonna get back to Saul, alright? So there's this one bad guy.
Okay.
His name is Nahash. Nahash is the king of the Ammonites, alright? And he has surrounded a city called Jabesh Gilead.
Okay.
The people in Jabesh Gilead understand that they are way outnumbered
Okay.
and way overpowered
Okay.
by the Ammonites.
Okay.
But this guy, Nahash, is weird. Because he's so prideful that he's willing to give them time to literally ask for help. He's like, I believe in my own victory so much that I will give you 7 whole days to send messengers for help. And I'm pretty gosh darn sure I'll still defeat you. I'm like, okay. You're fighting against the people of God's chosen people. That might be a slight mistake. So, they send out, like, Jabesh Gilead does not want to die. So, they do send out as many messengers as they can all across Israel. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Oh.
Why?
You just changed something.
Did it do anything?
No. What are you doing?
Are you hearing anything?
No.
Oh.
I have my headphones directly plugged into my microphone.
I know. I turned one of our mics into an output device
Why?
so that you could hear it.
Nope. Can't hear it.
How about now?
Nope.
How about now?
Nope.
Hmm.
I don't know what your plan is here. But anyways, Nahash, king, bad guy, prideful. Gilead is Jabesh Gilead is able to send out messengers, and these messengers come to Gibeah, where Saul lives. Now Saul is tending with whatever he's tending, the oxen apparently. And he is seeing all these people weeping and crying. He's like, what is going on? And the people tell him that Jabesh Gilead is under siege by the Ammonites. And Saul's like, ah, heck no. Ah, hell no. And then this, it says in verse 6, when Saul heard these words, the Spirit of God suddenly took control of him. And we'll hear a lot about spiritual things around Saul.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually David in this book too, because David shows up with Peter. Spirit of God suddenly took control of him. His anger burned furiously. He took a team of oxen, cut them in pieces, and sent them throughout the land of Israel by messengers who said, "This is what will be done to the ox of anyone who doesn't march behind Saul and Samuel." So Saul kills the oxen he was working with, cut them to pieces, and sent them throughout the land.
That's crazy.
Sounds very similar to a story we read in Judges, where this one man cut his dead wife, or concubine, cut his concubine into 12 pieces and sent the pieces to each tribe in Israel. Sounds very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And the people fell into terror of God. And they united themselves. Apparently 300,000 Israelites showed up, and 30,000 specifically came from Judah. So everyone rallied up. Like this this happened within 7 days. Then the men of Jabesh said to Nahash, after Saul reports back to Jabesh, "We will come, we will fight, we will save you." The men of Jabesh said to Nahash, "Tomorrow we will come out and you can do whichever you want to us." So Nahash is expecting surrender, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next day, Saul organized the troops into 3 divisions. During the morning watch, they invaded the Ammonite camp and slaughtered them until the heat of the day.
Dang.
There were survivors, but they were so scattered that no 2 of them were left together. Think
Okay.
about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, you're in battle, you would think that some guys would be going in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so scattered. There were either so few of them, or they were chased so ferociously, no 2 of them could stay together. Which is nuts.
Yeah. Then the people said to Samuel, "Who is he that said, 'Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death.' But Saul said, 'Not a man shall be put to death on this day, for today the Lord has accomplished deliverance in Israel.'"
And then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let's go to Gilgal, so we can renew the kingship there." So all the people went to Gilgal, and there in the Lord's presence they made Saul king. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings in the Lord's presence, and Saul and all the men of Israel greatly rejoiced. So we'll see both Saul and eventually David have to go through multiple stages of being anointed as king and whatever in order to officially become king. So Saul was originally anointed by Samuel. Then Samuel called them all together for the group to tell them who the king was, which was Saul, and he was hiding in the supplies. And then after this victory, they sacrificed fellowship offerings and officially made him king over everything. So it wasn't just like Samuel anointed him and then he was in a royal palace. No, this was Israel's first king. So they had to set up all the systems in order to make him king. Then Samuel has a speech. And basically Samuel is telling them, "Here's what you have done today. And I have done you no wrong. Have I done you any wrong?" They say no. No, you have not done us any wrong. Okay, good. Now let me remind you of your history. And so he reminds them of being taken out of Egypt, of being handed over to their enemies because of their unwillingness to stay with God. And then they cried out and judges were sent over. to save them and redeem them.
Mm-hmm.
But the Israelites wanted a king, even though the Lord their God was meant to be king.
Mm-hmm.
And this was viewed as a sin, because they wanted somebody to rule over them that they didn't have to cry out to, that they never could see.
Mm-hmm.
Because their problem that they thought they had was the fact that, okay, if God doesn't want us to abandon him, but we can't see him, it's like really hard to continue to believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have all these idols of Baal and Ashtoreth, and they're there. They're right there. We can see them. They're right there. We can pray to them. We see them. We don't have anything for God.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted a king
Mm-hmm.
who, in their mind, would be godly.
Hmm.
A godly man who they could see, who they could call to, and ask for help.
Hmm.
Instead of asking God for help,
Mm-hmm.
and God would provide what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So this was viewed as a sin. And Samuel pleaded with the Israelites, saying, please pray to God so you won't die, because this is an evil in his sight.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did. They prayed. And Samuel vowed that he would never stop praying for Israel, that he would never stop doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then Saul continues to do his duty as Israel's first king. Okay? Chapter 13. He is now acting as in his role.
Mm-hmm.
He was 30 years old when he became king, so definitely a significant age. He's 30 years old. That's the same age that Jesus was when he actually started his ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was also the same age David was when he became king. It was either 30 or 40, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But Saul reigned for 42 years. So he was 72 when he no longer reigned over Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers, Saul dies in battle. And so he dies at the age of 72. So from here on out, he's going to make some mistakes. He's going to do some things that are not pleasing to God.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out with some men. He starts fighting Philistines. Like, these are enemies of Israel that have attacked them. He's going to fight them, get rid of them. So he's going out and he's fighting them. But it's just really rough terrain. It's hard to navigate, hard to get to the enemy. They have the advantage. The Israelites don't have the advantage, that sort of thing. And so Saul messages Samuel to come out within a certain number of days. Samuel doesn't come out in that amount of days. And Saul is worried that he's going to lose his men.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does the sacrifice. Big no-no. He was not supposed to do the sacrifice whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel was the priest, the man of God. He was supposed to do the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And King Saul misunderstood his role.
Mm-hmm.
He misunderstood his role because in God's mind, he was the government authority,
Mm-hmm.
but you must still listen to the authority that I have placed on this land for
Mhm.
you to hear me through. So Samuel was still the man of God that he was supposed to listen to God through.
Mm-hmm.
So, and throughout the history of Israel's kings, you will see the struggle between the priests and the kings having their proper positions. Like, they're meant to be equal in kind of equal in authority,
Mm-hmm.
because the king is government authority. He issues out punishments. He issues out court rulings. He goes to war. He does the government stuff. The priests take care of the religious stuff. They take care of sacrifices. They take care of hearing from God. Like, they have two separate jobs, but they both have the same level of authority.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll see this pattern happen throughout Israel's history. And here's something interesting, is that Saul, you can still see his image problem, because his son Jonathan, his son actually is the first one to attack the Philistines. And here's what he says after Saul learns of this. So Saul blew the ram's horn throughout the land, saying, "Let the Hebrews hear." And all Israel heard the news. Saul has attacked the Philistine garrison. When it was Jonathan, his son, attacked the Philistine garrison. So he has a little bit of an image problem with his own son, who we see later on in the book. Jonathan is a really righteous man. He's a really good guy. And after Saul does the sacrifice, and Samuel comes and tells Saul, "You were wrong in doing that. You will have your kingdom stripped away from you." Well, actually, no. You are no. You have okay. He says your reign will not endure. That's what he says. And the Philistines had been oppressing all of Israel, enough so that they could not have any tools or weapons sharpened by anyone but the Philistines. So the Philistines regulated tools and weapons of the Israelites. Because the Israelites had no blacksmiths. So when they were fighting the Philistines, they had no weapons, except for Saul and Jonathan. Saul and Jonathan had weapons. So Jonathan is with his father, and he is on this weird piece of land. Because there's a sharp columns of rock. On one side sits Israel, on the other side sits the Philistines. And they have to descend the rock on one side and ascend on the other side in order to reach the Philistines. Well, Jonathan and his armor bearer go alone. They go alone, they descend, and his armor bearer is a very faithful armor bearer. He's like, "Wherever you go, I'm gonna go with you. I trust your leadership." And Jonathan is like, "All right, we're going to attack the Philistines. Here's what we're going to do. If they say, 'Come on up,' the Lord is with us. But if they say, 'Wait until we reach you,' saying that the Philistines will come down, then the Lord is not with us." Well, they start climbing the rock. The Philistines see them, and the Philistines are like, "Come up here and see how much of a beating that we can give you." And so Jonathan's like, "All right, confirmation." So they climb up the rocks, and they just start beating the crap out of the Philistines. Jonathan goes through the Philistines and starts smacking them. And his armor bearer, it records that his armor bearer comes behind him and finishes them off.
Oh, wow.
So Jonathan is just hacking and slashing, and his armor bearer is coming behind him and finishing the job as they go along. And they kill 20 guys. About 20 guys in a half-acre field. So they're just chasing down these guys. And The Philistines are scared. They are so scared. So much so that they start fighting against each other. They start killing each other. And the earth shook because of... Well, actually, let me read in verse 15 of chapter 14. It says, "Terror spread through the Philistine camp in the open fields to all the troops. Even the garrison and the raiding parties were terrified. The earth shook and terror spread from God. When Saul's watchmen in Gibeah of Benjamin looked, they saw the panicking troops scattering in every direction. So Saul said to his troops with him, 'Call the roll and determine who has left us.' They called the roll and saw that Jonathan and his armor bearer were gone. Now comes a part that is also another interesting conflict between Saul and the priesthood. He says, Saul told Ahijah, 'Bring the ark of God,' the priest at the time, for it was with the Israelites at that time. While Saul spoke to the priest, the panic in Philistine camp increased in intensity. So Saul said to the priest, 'Stop what you're doing.' There's a slight bit of conflict there, which is interesting. He doesn't, he tells the priest to go grab the ark, but then he sees the opportunity that's ahead of him, and he says, 'No, forget about it. Forget what I said.' Isn't that so interesting?
Kind of backs down a little bit.
What?
He backs down a little bit. He's like, 'No, stop it. Stop, Holmes.'
No, he switches up. He flips his decision of reliance upon God. He changes his perspective of the situation from needing God to go with him to being like, 'No, I got this. We got to strike now while the iron is hot,' basically. And isn't that so interesting about our lives? When we ask God for guidance in certain decisions, especially pertaining to, we're given two choices, and they're two good choices. We ask God which one to take. And he's saying to wait a little bit, you don't hear an answer from him very quickly.
Then if you want to take it in your hands, you're like, whatever, God, I'll listen to you later.
Right? Or, one piece of the decision-making changes where it's, now time restraint. This decision, I need to make a decision within, 4 days. Or something. And now it puts pressure on you, and you're like, all right, I'm going to make the decision now. You have 4 days to listen to God and ask God if you still want, which one he actually wants you to do. And your reliance always has to be on God. It can't be on your own, especially when you initially were like, 'God, I need your help.' So, yeah, that's an interesting little thing from Saul.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they go, Saul actually takes his troops, and they go and they fight against the Philistines, and they win the battle. And it says, so the Lord saved Israel that day. So, this wasn't recorded as a sin, but it did show Saul's, it showed a piece of Saul's chinking of the armor a little bit. A big chink was when he sacrificed in place of Samuel. Another small chink was when Saul said that he was attacking the Philistine garrison when his son was actually the one who did it. And now this small chink in the armor, when he says, 'Bring the ark of God,' but then says, 'Never mind, forget about it. We'll leave it behind.' So, and then another chink in his armor happens. He tells his men to never eat a piece of food while we are currently chasing these Philistines, because we are going to go night and day for days until all of them are dead. And so none of his men eat. None of them. Because Saul makes an oath that whoever eats will be cursed. And so they don't eat. They just run and fight all day, all night for who knows how long. And then Jonathan, Saul's son, sees some honey. And he takes some honey and he eats it. And all the other men are like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And Jonathan's like, what? And the soldiers are saying, your father made this oath. Whoever eats will be cursed. And Jonathan's like, well, that was dumb. Look how refreshed I am just from eating a little bit of honey. But they continue to fight on. Fight the Philistines. Until they come to an impasse where they're like, all right, we've been chasing them for a long time. Do we still continue to go after her?
Yeah.
But the priest said, hold on. Okay, so this was interesting. Said, verse 36, Saul says, let's go down after the Philistines tonight and plunder them until morning. Don't let even one remain. The troops respond this way. Do whatever you want. That's interesting. They're tired. They're hungry. They're starving. They're like, do whatever you want. We've been chasing them for days. But the priest said, we must consult God here. Because I'm sure the priest is like, seeing all these guys just kill themselves, starving, while they're killing these Philistines. And he's like, we need to talk to God. So Saul's like, all right, should we go after them? Hello? God doesn't speak to him. He's like confused. He's like, all right, something's wrong. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out if somebody sinned. And we're going to do that now. So he gathers all the leaders, brings them all together. He separates himself and his son, Jonathan, from the rest of the troops. They cast lots. And lots was a way for God to speak to them through this. All right, who is at fault? The troops or us leaders? They figured out it was the leaders. Then they cast lots between Saul and Jonathan. They found out it was Jonathan. Jonathan explains he ate a little bit of honey. It's like, you told the men not to eat food, otherwise they'd be cursed. I ate. And Saul. So Jonathan told his father, I tasted a little honey with the end of the staff I was carrying. I am ready to die. Okay. Saul declared to him, may God punish me and do so severely if you do not die, Jonathan. There's conflict between father and son. Constantly. Throughout their relationship. I mean, Jonathan is willing to die in this scenario. Saul wants to kill him because he's mad. Because he wanted to go after the Philistines and kill them and destroy them for good. He's being prevented. And the people stand in the way. The soldiers, they're like, hold on. No. Jonathan's done so much. He shouldn't have to die. Please, don't kill him. So Saul was like, ugh. And he gave up the entire pursuit of the Philistines. Like, he was so ready to go. He finds out his son sinned. And he stormed off and said, fine. I'm going home. I'm sick of this. And he goes home. And the Philistines returned back to their homes, tails tucked between their legs. And Saul ended up fighting other enemies throughout his kingship.
Mm-hmm.
He fought against Moab, Ammonites, Edom, Zobah, Philistines, everywhere. And he caused havoc. So he did good at war with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 3 sons. He had 2 daughters, Merab and Michael. It's either Michal or Michael. I can't remember.
You said 2 daughters?
Yeah, 2 daughters.
Probably Michelle.
Yes. So, Michal will be important later.
Michelle?
Michal.
Where are you reading this?
It's verse 49 of chapter 14. What?
49?
Mm-hmm.
The sons?
Keep going. Saul's sons were Jonathan, Ishvi, and Malchishua. The names of his 2 daughters were Merab, and Michal.
Michelle. Let's see how that's pronounced. Okay.
The English pronunciation of a Hebrew name.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. When we try to translate names, I don't think we do it 100%.
Yeah. Michal.
Michal?
Michal.
Michal?
Oh, okay, so it's the Hebrew Michal, Michal, born King Saul's daughter, is pronounced Michal. There's a Khal. The key is to pronounce the throaty CH sound, specifically voiceless, uvular, frigative ch, or velier frigative ch, similar to the CH in Bach or Loch. Not the English ch in church or Michael. It's a 2-syllable name,
Michal.
accented on the second syllable.
So Michal.
So the first syllable chal, chal. The second syllable is a guttural ch, followed by al, like all and always. Chal, Michal. Michal. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Now that I figured that out.
Michal.
Michal.
It's in your throat. Chal.
I can't go far enough back at the moment.
Michal. Michal.
Yeah, anyways.
You need to learn Dutch, my guy.
I don't... What? This is Hebrew.
I know, but Dutch has a lot of, like, throaty guttural sounds. Like, like the word, like, to say, how are you, is hoe gaat het met you? Hoe gaat het met you? And it's in the back. Hoe gaat het met you?
Hoe gaat het met you?
Hoe gaat het met you? Hoe gaat het met you?
Hoe gaat het met you?
Hoe gaat het met you?
Yeah, whatever. All right.
It's yeah, and then like the counting, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. That's 8. 8. Michal. Michal. Oh boy. I'm just gonna cringe every time you say it. That's all that's gonna happen. Michal.
Anyways, we're gonna roll.
We're getting nowhere. Michal.
Okay, another thing that Saul is commanded to do. Okay, so he's commanded to go after the Amalekites, and specifically kill Agag, the king of the Ammonites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not the Ammonites, Amalekites. So Agag, really bad king. So God says, destroy everything and everyone, like everyone. Crap.
Did you break?
Nothing. I just slid the page real quick. So God is saying, eradicate everyone. Not a single Amalekite can live, not even the animals. Okay? Very important. So they go out, they start fighting against the Amalekites, they win against the Amalekites, but they save the best of the animals. They save the best of the animals, as well as Agag. Which is crazy. Like, why did you spare the king? Like, I could understand some of the animals. Like, you thinking, oh yes, let's save some of the plunder. But saving the king, why'd you spare the king? You should have killed him. Dunzo. And Samuel ends up hearing about this. He comes to Saul and is like, did you do as the Lord commanded? And Saul's like, yes, I did everything. And Samuel's like, then what is the bleating of sheep and mooing of cattle I hear? Saul's like, well, the men, you see, they kept the best sheep and cows, so then we could, give God a sacrifice. Really? And what about King Agag?
And now he digresses into another accent.
What about King Agag? And Saul has said, I have brought back King Agag. Yes, he's not dead. And Samuel said, although you once considered yourself unimportant, have you not become the leader of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you as king over Israel and then sent you on a mission and said, go and completely destroy the sinful Amalekites. Fight against them until you have annihilated them. So why didn't you obey the Lord? Why did you rush on the plunder and do what was evil in the Lord's sight? Saul doubles down. He says, but I did obey the Lord. Saul answered, I went on the mission the Lord gave me. I brought back Agag, king of Amalek, and I completely destroyed the Amalekites. The troops took the sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was set apart for destruction, to sacrifice to the Lord your God at Gilgal. Then Samuel drops one of the hardest lines. He says, does the Lord take pleasure in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much in obeying the Lord? Look, to obey is better than sacrifice. To pay attention is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and defiance is like wickedness and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king.
Dang.
So Saul's been completely rejected by God because of his disobedience. And Saul grieves and kind of grovels at Samuel's feet, saying, I have sinned. Please return with me so I can worship the Lord. Samuel says, no, I won't go with you. The Lord has rejected you. And when Samuel turns to leave, Saul holds on to Samuel's robe and tears it because of the struggle. And as Saul holds the piece of the robe, Saul is told by Samuel, just like the piece of the robe was torn off from me, so the kingdom will be torn away from you.
Oof. I think that goes harder.
What?
I feel like that goes harder.
That's fair. Samuel has some bars. Let's be honest. And Samuel gives Saul the order, bring me King Agag. Samuel's old at this point. He's really old.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells Saul to bring him King Agag. Agag came to him trembling, for he thought, certainly the bitterness of death has come. You think that was hard? This is crazier. Samuel declared, as your sword has made women childless, so your mother will be childless among women. Then he hacked Agag to pieces before the Lord at Gilgal.
Dang.
Samuel just goes
Goes
savage.
ham on him.
Samuel is savage 3 times in the same event. Like, he has some quotable lines.
Yeah.
And Samuel went back to Ramah, and Saul went up to his home in Gibeah of Saul. Even to the day of his death, Samuel never again visited Saul. Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord regretted he had made Saul king over Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Now enters in
David.
Okay? So Samuel is grieving, and the Lord comes to him and says, why are you mourning? Why are you grieving? There's more to be done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem,
Fill your horn with oil.
and I'm going to select a king from his sons.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel's like, how can I go? Saul won't hear about it. I will die. And the Lord says, take a cow with you. Say I have a sacrifice to the Lord. Then invite Jesse and the family to the sacrifice. Super simple. Don't overthink it. You're fine. And here's something interesting. This shows Samuel's reputation. So Samuel goes to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town met him. They trembled. They asked, do you come in peace? They asked one old guy, do you come in peace?
Do you heed?
This feels like a Gandalf.
Do you heed?
This feels like Samuel. Like I feel like J.R.R. Tolkien based like Gandalf the Grey off of Samuel.
Isn't it like, wait, how many letters is his name? It's like J.R. Tolkien.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, R.R. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he based Gandalf off of Samuel, because Samuel is a beast. He's crazy.
Yeah, John Ronald Reuel. Reuel.
Yeah.
Reuel.
Like, Samuel has done so much for the Lord, for the people of Israel, and he hasn't done anything wrong, as far as the Bible records. Like, he hasn't done anything, except possibly raising up his sons improperly, because his son, that's debatable, because his sons were doing some bad things. But that, we don't know entirely all the situation behind it, of whether it was Samuel's bad parenting, or it was just the choices that his sons did. We don't know. Like, they were adults and they just decided to do bad stuff. But as far as Samuel himself goes, he never did anything wrong. In fact, he was so good at his job, people feared him. And so he sets up the sacrifice, and he invites Jesse and the sons. And a lot of people have heard the story, you know. Jesse presents his sons one at a time, and one at a time, Samuel asks, is this the one? The Lord says, no. Man looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart.
Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? No. And then they're jealous.
And there were 7 sons that were presented until Samuel was like, are these all? And Jesse said, the youngest. He's still out in the field with the sheep. Samuel says, go get him. Here's the interesting thing, is that verse 12 mentions this. So God says, man looks at the outward appearance, I look at the heart. Verse 12 says, so Jesse sent for him, speaking of David.
He was ruddy, with beautiful eyes, handsome appearance, and the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he.
Don't look at outward appearance. He seems really good.
Don't look at outward appearance, but this guy looks nice.
All right.
This is the epitome of a man. This is why they made him a saint in the Catholic Church.
But this was. But this is interesting for Samuel too, because the Lord is also walking Samuel through something that, like originally Saul was this really strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was tall, he was strong, his personality was timid. Then you have David, who's handsome but probably a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the youngest, so he's not as tall as everyone else, and so he's a little bit shorter in stature, most likely.
He's a small dude.
Right? But he's a teenager, at least. And he's handsome. So he's messing with Samuel's perspective of like, yeah, all these guys, they looked kingly. This guy, he looks handsome, but I see inside of him. And I know what's inside of him. I know he's been singing to me in the fields. I know all of this stuff that he's been
doing. A king, but he's also going to make some stupid choices. But he's a king.
Right? He's a king.
He's a king.
Right?
That Cusco person.
Uh-huh. And
king.
Then Samuel anoints him. And it says again, the Spirit of the Lord took control of David from that day forward. So the Spirit of the Lord had been on Saul when he heard of Jabesh Gilead being sieged, and now the Spirit of the Lord is on David. Then we hear now the Spirit of the Lord left Saul, and an evil spirit sent from the Lord began to torment him. First of all, that's a crazy sentence. That's a crazy verse. You can go into so much depth with that. Because the Spirit of the Lord left him. That's bad in and of itself. Like, usually you would think, okay, I'm just left without the Spirit of God now. I'm back to who I was. No, this was worse. He wasn't just back to who he was. He had an evil spirit replace the Spirit of God upon.
Oh.
That was sent by the Lord.
That's unfortunate. Or was it sent or was it allowed?
It says sent.
That's unfortunate.
Which we might look in other translations, but it says sent from the Lord. Probably based upon like how God's characters work. Character also.
Yeah, with
this part is the interpretation part.
Yeah, this is so it came about whenever the evil spirit from God came to Saul.
Yeah, it says from God.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
From God came to Saul. Oof.
So here's where this is our interpretation part comes in. Go do your own study. This is where the interpretation comes in from me. Is that like, you know how Satan came to God in Job and asked God, hey, I want to test this man, but your hands are protecting him. Release your hands so I can do something to him and prove to you his unrighteousness. And God allows that. In the sense, I think this is what is happening. Saul is in a vulnerable state, and God allows an evil spirit who wants to do it anyway. Let's be honest. Like, the evil spirits want to torment
and cause problems.
Like, evil spirits want to do this. Like, it's not like God was, like, handing out orders to a bunch of evil spirits and saying, now you do this, and you do this, and you do this.
He probably could, though.
He could. But also, like, the evil spirit wanted to do the bad thing.
Yeah.
So God sending him was basically, like, all right, you can torment him. But know this. There will be good that comes from it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what happened. It's not that, like, God is like, yes, no, you must be tormented by evil spirit. Yes. Yeah. No, he's like, all right, the evil spirit is allowed to go. but only for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so Saul ends up being troubled, and the advisors around him are like, all right, he apparently gets affected by music
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So if we find somebody who's always readily available,
Mm-hmm.
who can play the lyre specifically,
Mm-hmm.
we can make him feel better pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, guess who they found?
David!
They found David.
David can play the lyre!
Unbeknownst to Saul, the anointed king to come after him is now going to be playing the lyre.
To make him feel better.
To make him feel better. Unbeknownst to him. And Saul sees something in David that he really enjoys. That he makes David his armor bearer. Wow. Like, you went from being shepherd to
Mhm.
being court musician
Mm-hmm.
to being armor bearer
Mm-hmm.
of the king.
That's
Like-
kind of crazy.
Because Jonathan had an armor bearer,
Mm-hmm.
but he was the prince,
That's a quick promotion.
right? He gets a promotion. And apparently David did his job well as far as being a musician of
Mhm.
God. Because whenever he played the lyre, Saul calmed down
Mm-hmm.
and the evil spirit would leave him.
Mhm.
Now comes probably one of the most famous stories of the entire Old Testament. David versus Goliath.
Yep.
And,
They try to suit him up and it all falls off.
right?
He's like, let me go collect 3 stones. Or is it 5 stones?
I think it's 6.
6?
Can't remember.
I
But
thought
anyways,
it was like 3 or 5.
but Goliath, so Israel and the Philistines are still fighting because they haven't died yet. And they're on either side of this ravine. And the Philistines on one side of the ravine, and those Israelites on the other side. The Philistines have a giant, his name's Goliath. He has 125-pound armor that he wears. He's 9 feet 9 inches tall. This guy's huge. So Goliath is not in the sense like towering above skyscrapers tall. But according, like, as far as tall goes, like, think about this. He's tall enough that he's a giant, but probably still short enough that he could ride a horse. Just a really big one.
Like a Clydesdale.
Yeah, like a Clydesdale. Like, he could still ride a horse. Like, he's small enough to still do certain things.
Mhm.
The iron point of his spear weighed 15 pounds. Jeez. Okay? And Goliath comes out and he shouts out to the Israelites, "Come and fight me. Who dares from God's people to try and come and destroy us?" Now, of course, you hear David. He's coming from his father's house. He's bringing some food to his brothers. And he hears one day Goliath's tauntings. And he's like,
It was 5.
he was 5 stones?
5 smooth stones.
Nice.
My quick reading skills.
Nice. So he brings the food to his brothers, and then he hears Goliath's tauntings. And David's like, who is letting this Goliath defy us and our God?
Mm-hmm.
Who's letting him do that?
Here's an interesting thing, though. Back on the stone thingy. When I watched the Young David movie, they only show him collecting 3 stones.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He collects 5. It's 5, not 3.
So, David hears that, and he's willing to go and fight Goliath. Like, he wants to so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Fight Goliath for God and for Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul hears about this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, you're my armor bearer. So, what are you doing?
He's like, I got God on my side. Let me go attack him.
And Saul's like, you can't go fight this Philistine. You're just a youth. And he's been a warrior since he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And David's like, I may be young, but I fought a lion and a bear.
Boom. And that's where we end it.
What?
We're at an hour.
No, we can still go a little bit. We still got to.
But, like, you got to leave it on a cliffhanger.
No. We got a cliffhanger coming up.
Chapter 20?
Yeah, chapter 20.
Okay.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger over there. Okay.
Okay.
So Saul tries to give him his armor, doesn't fit David. David's like, nah, I'll use the weapons God helped me use with the lion and the bear.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out, grabs 5 stones.
5 smooth stones.
Smooth stones.
It's to be specific. It has to be smooth.
And he has a sling.
And a sling.
And he goes out. He challenges Goliath. And he says, hold on. It says, David said to the Philistine, you come against me with a dagger, spear, and sword, but I come against you in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel's armies. You have defied him. Today the Lord will hand you over to me. Today I will strike you down, cut your head off, and give the corpses of the Philistine camp to the birds of the sky and the creatures of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the world will know that Israel has a God, and this whole assembly will know that it is not by sword or by spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's. He will hand you over to us. And the Philistine advances. David swings his sling around, releases the stone.
This says, and David put his hand into his bag and took from it a stone, and he slung it, and it stuck the Philistine in his forehead, and the stone sank into his forehead so that he fell on his face to the ground. Thus David prevailed over the Philistines with a sling and a stone, and he struck the Philistine and killed him. But there was no sword in David's hand. Then David ran and stood over the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of his sheath and killed him, and cut off his head with it. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled.
So David, here's the crazy part about David. He was able to grab Goliath's sword.
Giant sword.
Big sword. This small dude is able to grab big sword.
Big sword.
Cut off bad guy head with it.
Bad guy head.
Right? This sword becomes important later on, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like way later on in his adventures.
Mm-hmm.
David took Goliath's head and brought it to Jerusalem, and he put Goliath's weapons in his own tent. So he kept those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the interesting part.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Saul, I think, had David as his music boy and his armor bearer.
Mm-hmm.
But never, like, this story seems weirdly in place as far as chronological order when they were writing this. Because it says that Saul had seen David going out to confront the Philistine. He asked Abner, the commander of the army, whose son is this youth, Abner? My king, as surely as you live, I don't know, Abner replied. The king said, find out whose son this young man is.
Mm-hmm.
When David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the Philistine's head still in his hand. Saul said to him, whose son are you, young man? The son of your servant Jesse of Bethlehem, David answered. So I feel like this story actually happens right in between verse 13 and verse 14 of chapter 16. Like David versus Goliath. Because of him asking, whose son are you? Like, I do not know you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a youth.
Mm-hmm. It goes up to interpretation kind of thing.
It is kind of up to, because it seems a little out of place.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get to see Jonathan come into play when it comes to David. Jonathan loves David.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and they become besties.
They do become besties, so much so that Jonathan makes a covenant
Mm-hmm.
with him. Gives him his military tunic, the robe he was wearing, sword, his bow, and his belt. He basically stripped down and gave him everything except his undies.
What if they didn't have undies back then?
They had like a night robe underneath their regular robe.
Tunic.
Yeah. They had a night tunic. That was basically their undies.
It's a tunic.
And
Well,
David
it'd get a little drafty, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So David went out with his army and was successful in everything that day that Saul sent him out to do. And then the people celebrated with a song saying, Saul has killed his thousands, but David his tens of thousands. Saul heard the song and was hateful of David. He was jealous and saying, they have credited me with thousands and him with 10,000s. What more can he have but the kingdom? And so Saul became jealous of David from that day forward. And Saul attempts to kill David. He's in the palace. David is playing his lyre with Saul. And Saul was holding a spear. And he did this twice. He tried to kill David with a spear twice.
That's not good.
And David wasn't afraid of Saul, but Saul was afraid of David.
Yeah.
And Saul knew the Lord was with David. And he reassigned David and made him a commander over 1,000 men. And he still was successful in everything that he did. And Saul was like, all right, well, here's my oldest daughter, Merab. And if you will be a warrior for me and fight the Lord's battles, I will give her to you as a wife. And Saul was thinking, my hand doesn't need to be against him. Let the hand of the Philistines be against him. And then David responded, who am I? And was my family or my father's clan Israel that I should become the king's son-in-law? When it was time to give Saul's daughter Merab to David, she was given to Adriel, the Meholathite, as a wife. So something happened with David and Merab with becoming the son-in-law. David didn't... I think David was being humble in the moment, but also God was protecting him in that moment too. And then Michal ends up falling in love with David. And Saul's like, oh yes, my plan. My plan is going to come into motion. You can now be my son-in-law. And he says, all right, here's the deal. You can have my daughter. But you must bring me back 100 Philistine foreskins. Basically, he needed to do a bunch of circumcision.
You need to do a lot of sleeving.
A lot of circumcision on these Philistines. David's like, okay. Saul,
okay, bad.
and Saul thought that he would die to the Philistines.
Yeah.
David goes out. Not only does he accomplish what Saul wanted, he doubles it.
That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy. And he gave Michal to him as a wife. Michal. And Saul realized that the Lord was really on David and was his enemy from that day on. And Saul ordered his son, Jonathan, all his servants to kill David. But Saul's son, Jonathan, liked David very much, so he told David that Saul intends to kill him. And Jonathan spoke well of David to his own father and said, this man has done nothing to you. And Saul ends up swearing an oath saying that I will not harm him. Surely as the Lord lives. And David comes back to Saul after being threatened to be killed and continues to fight the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
And again, David is in the palace, playing the lyre. Saul is holding a spear. He tries to kill David with the spear again.
Dang.
Third time.
Dang.
And his own wife, Saul's youngest daughter, says, flee. He's going to kill you if you don't leave.
Oh, no.
And so she lowered him from the window and he fled and escaped. Now this is a crazy sentence. Then Michal took the household idol and put it on the bed. Household idol, by the way. Like, they still have idols. Like, this isn't a god idol. This is, like, false god idol. Put it in a bed and place some goat hair on its head. Like, this was a big enough thing, the size of a human. This was the size of a human. She placed it in a bed, put some goat hair on its head to make it look as if David was lying in the bed.
Oh, dang. And then he goes and dulls the sword.
And then she tells guards that David's sick. And Saul hears this message and he says, bring him on the bed so I can kill him. And the messengers arrive. To their surprise, the household idol was on the bed with some goat hair on his head.
Dang.
And Saul asks his own daughter, why did you deceive me?
Mm-hmm.
And she answered him, he said to me, let me go. Why should I kill you?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she protected herself with those sentences because she made it sound like David had threatened her.
Oh.
And she protected herself. She was trying not to die by her own father's hand.
That's no bueno.
Yeah, that's no bueno at all. So now he is gone. So David fled. He's running for his life. And he flees to where Samuel is at. He finds refuge with Samuel. David finds refuge with Samuel. And Saul goes to this town, Naoth, where they're at, and ends up doing something really interesting to Saul. The Spirit of God came on him, and as he walked along, he prophesied until he entered Naoth in Ramah. Call back to what happened when Samuel told him he was going to be king. He went with these prophets and he started prophesying. Saul then removed his clothes. He's naked. And also prophesied before Samuel. He collapsed and lay naked all that day and all that night.
That's not good.
Well, it kind of is good, actually. It's a sign of
defeat.
Submissiveness. Submission.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's a sign of submission.
I was close.
To Samuel and to God. Jonathan hears about this and he wants to make sure that David is going to be fine to come back. Because he wants to see his friend back. He really does.
Yeah.
And there's this banquet. And he somehow gets in contact with David, saying that if all these things go well at the banquet, you should be able to come back and we can be friends again and you can be in my father's service. And we'll get to that in the next episode. Because right now, there's tension. There's a lot of tension. Saul's has tried to kill David at so many points.
Yep.
And
our Wi-Fi died and it caused our computer to start crashing in the middle of the podcast, so we don't know if we have all the audio or not.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. But here's what happens with like being a leader is that there's a lot of weight that's put on you, and if God placed you there, he can take it away from you.
Yeah.
And if you are a leader, you have a bigger responsibility.
Yeah.
To be a righteous leader. Saul was not good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so David gets anointed king, and he gets put through all these trials
Mm-hmm.
as a test of David to see if he will follow in Saul's footsteps. And David, time and time again, does not fail. He's successful in military as well as successful in escaping the death threats from Saul. He's successful. So he is righteous in God's eyes. And so we're going to see eventually the end of the conflict between Saul and David eventually in the last 10 chapters of 1 Samuel. And we'll see if it's a happy ending or a sad ending. Based upon how it's going, it's not going to be a great one for Saul. But I doubt it's going to continue to be easy for David.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's the next 10 chapters of Samuel. 1 Samuel.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Any insights?
Should go watch the new movie, Young David. It's pretty good.
Ah, yes. That is in theaters currently.
No? Is it still in theaters?
Oh, maybe not. No, it's
Probably
not.
not in theaters anymore.
No,
It's on Angel Studios.
It is on Angel Studios.
Go become a guild member and then pay like... If you pay like $75, you can pay for people who haven't seen it to go see it for free. That's what I did.
Nice. There you go.
I got like... I think it was like... It's like $5 a ticket. What's 75 divided by 5?
No. That is 15.
Yeah, 15 people go watch the movie.
Nice.
You know, it's a cool, fun math trick. Any number times 5, cut it in half, and move the decimal, and that's the number.
No.
Yes. Tell me a number.
115.
What's half 115?
Half of 115 is 57.5.
Move the decimal. 575.
That's the wrong direction, bud.
Huh? No, I said times 5.
Oh, it's times 5?
Yeah, anything times 5, cut the number in half, and then move the decimal 1 over.
Oh.
It's the answer. 575.
It's like for division?
No, multiplication.
Oh, that is actually interesting.
Yeah. 575. What was the number you asked me to multiply?
115.
Yeah, 115 times 5 is 575.
Yeah. Oh, good job. Nice. Okay, that's cool.
It was a cool trick I learned a while ago. Because like now let's say 5 times 5, right? Half of 5 is 2.5. Move the decimal over, it's 25.
Or 7.
Huh?
7 divided by 2. 3.5.
35.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a handy trick.
That is interesting. That's really interesting. Okay, cool. Well, now that's your fun fact.
That's my fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you didn't know. That took forever and a half. Yeah, but we did start glitching out pretty bad, so I don't know how the audio's going to be in half.
It's going to be fine. We'll see when we get there. But, you want to try first?
Is it my turn or is it your turn?
Your turn.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive?
100%. Because I said so.
That's no.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, fine. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you that you love us and you care for us. Thank you that we get to share insight or just talk about things that are good, that are of you. Thank you for your love and your care, and I just pray for your continual guidance, and that people that choose to watch this, maybe they learn something new, or they just are here for the ride. Thank you for loving us and caring for us, and you just bless our week in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you for joining us this week on
The Basement.
We'll see you next week.
Peace out, Girl Scout.